when they die.
You're the most cold-blooded man I've ever seen.
How can you have any meat if you don't eat your pudding?
The Tommy Boyds Show.
Back and to the left. Yeah.
The show with more endurance than radiation itself.
You say either, and I say either.
Apparently official.
Stand by, please.
Tommy Boyds.
Apparently official.
Have you no compassion?
Stand by, please.
Let's rehang the pictures from the gallery of life.
There's no escaping here.
Tommy Boyds.
Hey, quick, get a pen. I've got a fantastic idea for you. Yeah, you. You see, I had lunch today with my literary agent, and she gave me some hot news. This really is hot off the press. And remember, she's got her finger on the pulse. She's an insider. She knows what she's talking about. The publishing world. I've published 6 books, and she's always on at me for my novel. And I always say when the time is right, because they say everybody's got a novel in them, and I like to think I have. I know that you have. But I'm going along quite nicely with my publications of research into important issues. But what they're after is novels. And this, you see, this is where they confound you. This is where this bit of news will get you hunting for a pen and a piece of paper if you haven't got one now. Because a bit later on, I'm going to give you some information. And it could be an absolute gold mine. The simple fact that, you think that publishers all day, every day, are sent hundreds and hundreds of manila envelopes with lots and lots and lots of ideas for books in them, and they spend all day just putting rejection slips in with the manuscripts and sending them back to the authors after 3 weeks. It's not true. It doesn't happen like that. They're actually crying out for new authors. They're crying out for new ideas. Now, you know that you've been thinking about turning that idea of yours into a book for quite a while now. What stopped you? The belief that the whole business of publishing is somehow Masonic, and that if you're not on the inside, well, you never will be, and you're on the outside. You're a reader, you're not a writer. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. But what I want you to do is run your idea past me first. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Hey, unless you've got a literary agent. If you haven't, you'll need one, and I'll be able to help there. But I'll be able to help first and foremost by running my tutored eye over your idea and maybe giving you a couple of pointers, not just for your plot and tricks with characterization and writing techniques. Are you going to write it in the first person singular, or is it going to be written in the third person? Those small but important things. And poetry, too, is going to be the next big thing. But we'll get to that in a moment. They're looking for new writers. They're looking for people who want to write novels about real people. They're looking for novels which people are going to be able to identify with. They're looking for novels that are set in 20th century Britain, set in Britain at least, that deal with people that people know, that people understand. Of course, it's going to be about love, and it's going to be about life, and it's going to be about the universe. You've got this idea. You've had this idea for some time. Well, now is the time for you to come to the aid of the party, the publishing party. Because believe me, it's fun on the inside. It really is. Plenty of dough and as much champagne as you can drink. And the door is wide open, and there's a finger beckoning you in. I've got a red-hot tip on what they're really, really, really looking for. So if you fancy shaking free the surly bonds of earth and touching the face of God and becoming a published author, first thing you do is call me now. Free call 0500 10 53 89. We'll kick your idea around a little bit, all right? What I guarantee you I will help. I'm not here to tell you it's not going to work. I'm not here to tell you there's no call for that kind of thing. I'm certainly not here to tell you that you don't have the qualifications to be a writer. You have the same qualifications that Shakespeare had, Dostoevsky had, Jane Austen had, Jeffrey Archer had when they sat down to write their first work. I don't need a title, although if you do have a title for it, and titles are very important, as is the opening paragraph, okay, it would be great to hear all that. So get a pen, get a piece of paper, and get to the phone. Free call 0500 10 53 89. we're looking for authors. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There is a good argument for listening.
The Tommy Boyd radio experiment. It does exactly what it says in the papers.
I smell bacon.
Life's gonna suck when you grow up, when you grow up, when you grow up. Life's gonna suck when you grow up. It sucks pretty bad right now. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, when you grow up, when you grow up. Life's gonna suck when you grow up. It sucks pretty bad right now. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, when you grow up, when you grow up. Life's gonna suck when you grow up, and then you're gonna die. Hey, hey!
Tommy Boyd.
Die you will, but don't die before you're published. Free call 0500 1053 89. Darren is on the line from London. Darren, welcome to Talk Radio.
Hello, Tommy. I'm sort of starting writing a novel. It's a fantasy novel.
Excellent.
And I was just phoning up about how I sort of, I'll get a literary agent, really.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, tell me a little bit about your plot, if you can. When's it set, your novel?
Well, it's fantasy, so it's sort of, it's not set in time, like it's sort of in a different world.
Who's the hero?
It's a little boy.
What's his name?
He's called Lauren.
Lauren?
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. Like it.
And it's this castle.
Yeah.
And there's all these little kids who work these machines.
Mm.
These water machines that keep this castle running, like, and it's a really great big castle.
Wow.
And one night there's this great storm, and he's able to escape because it's like sort of slavery, and there's this really weird storm, and he gets dragged down to this undersea world, and
I like this. This has got some big ideas in it, big themes.
Yeah,
that's important.
And this undersea world, like there's people with kelpies and mermaids and stuff like that.
I'm really warming to this, man.
Yeah, and sort of, and he helps this possessed selkie. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're some sort of
the seaweed people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What do you have a title for your novel?
Rough title, Mistlevane.
Mistlevane.
Yeah.
Is it a Y in that?
No.
Ah. One of the little tricks of the trade is that apparently a Y in the title of a novel always helps.
Well, I suppose I could put Ye Mistlevane or something.
Well, spell Mistlevane with a Y.
Yeah.
M-Y-S.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a bit like, I don't know if you know, but if they're manufacturing a product to go in the bathroom, they always put an X in it.
Oh, really?
It makes it sound medical.
Oh.
And if you put a Y in the title of a novel, they say it helps. So, misanthrope, did you say?
Mistlevane? Mistlevane, like.
Yeah.
Sort of
I like it a lot. Do you have an opening paragraph? Because that's very important.
Well, I've sort of been toying around with the first chapter, like getting all the ideas. I haven't really sort of come up with the first line that I'm going to be using. But,
no. Well, I think it's a marvellous idea, Darren.
Thank you.
And I really think you need to get into this. Something like 300,000 words is good.
Yep.
As you know, with the genre of your choice, the fatter the book, the better.
Yeah.
Students in particular like to keep it in their duffel coat pocket.
Yeah.
Even if it makes them sort of lean to one side as they walk.
I was thinking of illustrating it as well. Like,
can you draw?
Yeah, adequately.
Wow. Fantastic. What, just pen and ink, or are you thinking colour here?
Pen and ink.
Pen and ink. Fantastic. Okay. Well, get down to your library.
Yeah.
Okay. And look up the Writers and Artists Yearbook. Okay. Every library has a copy of the Writer and Artists Yearbook.
All right.
Okay. And you'll see there listed about 200 literary agents, many of whom specialise in science fiction and fantasy.
Right.
And they're desperate to get your manuscript.
That's great.
Send it off to as many of them as you can.
And they'll sort of tout it around for me, would they?
They'll sell it for you.
That's great.
They do all the work. You just write the novel, which is great fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And end up in Hollywood. I don't know, whatever.
Okay, then. Thanks a lot, Tommy.
The afternoon guy.
Sandra calls now from Bolton. Sandra, you're on Talk Radio. We're looking for authors.
Yeah, hello, Tommy.
Sandra.
I've got mine here. It's called Love Against the Odds.
Hang on. Against. I like that title.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? Is that a line from a poem, or did
No,
you...
it's out in my head. It's basically about this guy called Bob, who's a bit of a hard man.
He's called what?
Bob. This guy, the story.
Uh-huh.
But he's a bit of a hard man. He's always had a very hard life.
Oh, right.
And it's set in about early 50s, 60s. And it's when he was working on the docks, but he worked his way up to become sort of somebody in authority and manager. He's very proud of himself, but his men who work for him, they're all very afraid of him. But he also he's married, but he has this wife, and he's got 8 lovely kids. But she's become pregnant again, and one of the children is special needs. Now, this comes hard to Bob because he doesn't know how to take it, because he's never had to deal with imperfection before. Everything's always gone straight ahead for him.
Can you hang on a second?
Right.
All right, go on.
And so because he's special needs, he doesn't know how to cope. Of course, the child grows, and as the child grows, the marriage becomes under strain. They eventually split up, and she said, "I've had enough, Bob. I can't take any more. I've had enough. I'm taking the kids."
What's she called?
She's called Mary.
Mary?
Yeah.
It's a story about Bob and Mary.
Yeah. But it's about, I mean, I've got it here in front of me if you want to hear some of it.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah, you would?
Could you give me the opening paragraph?
Yeah, sure.
Hang on a sec. Okay.
Okay. Bob stared at the grey murkiness of the Mersey.
Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Murkiness.
Murkiness.
Grey murkiness.
Yes. Oh, are you trying to write it down? I didn't realise.
No. Just taking notes.
Okay.
For my reference. Okay. Bob stared at the grey murkiness
of the Mersey.
I'm not...
Somehow,
it's visual, I like it.
Somehow, the colours in the sky seemed to merge mistily into the grey water.
This is fantastic.
Till he felt that if he stared long enough, the two would eventually become one.
This is brilliant.
Till at last they would solidify, and maybe there would be an outside representation of the way he felt inside.
This is very good. Have you read any Hemingway?
No.
I'm thinking particularly of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, I've heard of the book. I haven't read it.
If you read the opening page of For Whom the Bell Tolls...
Yeah.
I'm not accusing you of borrowing an idea here.
I've not nicked any. This is based upon my life, actually.
Fascinating, even better.
Because I have a special needs kid, you see.
I see. Now, can I just tell you, before you get too far into this idea of yours, Sandra...
I've got other ideas for other novels too.
This is the $64,000 piece of information that I've got for everybody this afternoon. You know what they're really looking for, the publishing world? Besides new novelists, what they're really looking for is diarists. Diarists. You know the diary of Bridget this, and the diary of Adrian Mole that?
Yeah.
You know, and the Hitler diaries, and diaries are very big.
Right.
So what they're looking for now is books that are written as if they were diaries, or even real diaries.
Yes.
They're gagging for them.
Really?
Now, I don't know how much of Love Against the Odds you've written, prose style.
Yeah.
How many words have you got down?
300,000.
You got down 300,000?
Something like that, yeah.
Right. I see. Well, it's probably not something you want to now convert into a diary form, is it? Not having done all that work. Is it on a WP?
No, it's by hand.
Oh, biro.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I would suggest then that you get down to the library. No, look, to heck with literary agents. Why should they have 25% of what your hard work?
Yeah, because I want to be a writer, but I don't know how you go about it.
Send it to a publisher. Go into your local neighbourhood, W.H. Smith, Ryman's, I don't know, Dillons, Waterstone.
Yeah, but Waterstone's in Bolton.
Whip in there, right? Find a shelf where they've got the kind of books that are similar to the one that you've written.
Right.
Get a pen, piece of paper, make a note of the publishers.
Right.
Ring directory inquiries.
Uh-huh.
Get the publisher's telephone number. Ask them for their address. Ask them if they've got a reader. So have you got a reader? And they'll go...
Proofreader?
Yeah, well, sort of, yeah. No, not quite the same. Just a reader. Somebody... It's normally the managing director's secretary who has to take the books home at the weekend and come back to the managing director and say how good they are. That's how it works.
Right.
I'm giving you inside stuff here.
Yeah,
okay.
very, very grateful, Tommy.
No, but, Sandra, it is my pleasure. If I can help somebody along the way, That's what radio's here for.
I wish the other presenters were like you.
Well, I was hired as a nice guy. What you do...
James Whale some lessons.
Wash your mouth out with soap and water.
I'm sorry.
Not at all. Okay, get the publisher's address, right, and whack a copy off to them with in a brown envelope with a brown stamped address, self-addressed envelope inside.
Right.
So that they can write back to you with their thoughts. Okay.
Yes.
Good luck.
Did you like it then?
I think it's cracking. I think it's cracking. It's got the lot. And you can write. And you can write. And get hold of For Whom the Bell Tolls.
I will. I'll read it.
He was quite a good writer, Hemingway. Thank you for your call, Sandra.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You too.
Free call 0500 1053 89. The literary world is crying out for new authors, novelists, most of all diarists. But give me a call first of all, and I'll set you on the right track. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Boyd. It's time to poison the water hole.
Cutting edge.
Tommy Boyd.
Sucks less.
You know, I don't want to bring this up, but you've been treating a lot of people with a lot of disrespect.
Not this afternoon, because I'm on your side. I've got some inside information, having had lunch with my literary agent. Apparently, the big publishing houses are crying out for new talent. They want new authors. They want new ideas. Everyone's got a novel in them. And you've been thinking about writing a book. You've often said to yourself, this would make a good book, this. Well, it would. And the publishers want it. But hey, call me first. I know what I'm talking about. My first job was as a house writer for W.H. Allen, for Target Books. So I know the ins and outs. I know the game. It's a jungle out there, but the cage door is open and they want you in. They want you in there working for them. The hot tip, the really hot tip, is that they're looking for diaries. Diaries are big. Diarists, that's what they really want. But hey, it doesn't matter. If you've written some poetry, that's going to be big too. Free call 0500 1053 89. Jacqueline calls from Leeds. Jacqueline, you're on Talk Radio. Hi.
Hi, I'm a diarist.
Fantastic.
I hope so.
Wow.
Shall I run it by you and see what you think?
Well, how long is it?
Oh, not long. It's about a trip.
Yeah.
This year, it's a bit sad, but it's extremely funny. It's going to be really good.
Excellent.
It's a 5-week trip. My brother was in Canada. He'd been there nearly all his life, and he was diagnosed as terminally ill. So all of a sudden, we all had to drop everything and go.
Right.
And for the first 3 weeks, we were all crushed together on his boat, moored in a harbour.
Yeah.
And it's really going to have all kinds of... It's going to be about how we were all forced together in such a tiny little space.
Yeah.
Under not very good conditions, but about all the fun that we had when we were there and how glad we were that we went.
Art comes out of adversity, doesn't it, always?
It does, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
You know.
We had some, we laughed. We forced to go camping. We were chopping wood in the middle of Canada. We were swimming in lakes. All kinds of things we'd never had to do before. And we had so much fun. And, of course, he has died now. He was terminal and he is now dead. But we were so glad to go, and we had such a marvellous time. It's like an exploration of all kinds of questions that had never been raised before. You know, and I don't know if anybody else would be interested in it. I don't know if it's maybe too personal.
How long is it?
Well, it's not very long at the moment. It literally is just a diary, which I will expand on, you know, for other people to read.
The more private and personal, the better.
Really?
Well, look, you know, if I was a burglar, I'd be hopeless, because do you know what I'd do? I'd make straight for the bedside cabinet and read her diary. I'd never get away with the jewellery. Diaries are fantastic.
Oh, really?
I think you should get it off to a few publishers now, as it stands. Photocopy it, because it's in your own hand, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, photocopy it. They'll probably suggest a little change here or there. Heighten a bit of love interest. Throw in a few more jokes.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, there's lots of that.
They'll either soften or heighten the pathos.
Yeah.
You know, you don't mind taking advice.
No.
No.
I'd love to do it.
What are you going to call it?
Oh, I don't know.
The
What do you think? I don't know.
Something to do with Canada, I think. I don't know. The maple leaves!
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Look, if you're not going to take advice... Look, now you're laughing at me.
No, I'm not.
I'm here to help.
Yeah.
I said the maple leaves. Oh, no.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, you see, writing is a solitary pursuit. But if you're going to be a published author, then you've got to start getting into bed with all sorts of people who are going to chisel your idea a bit for you. Now, you're going to have to do that.
Yeah, but what made you think of Maple Leaves?
Because I know
it's about Canada, but people think it's a book about Canada, and it's
No, because
not.
Leaves, books are, they publish books.
Oh, true, yeah, sorry.
It's a pun.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit dense.
You know?
Mm.
And the maple tree gives us maple syrup, doesn't it?
Mm.
And, and there's a sort of sugary element about your book, isn't there?
Yeah,
kind
of. Yeah. Mm.
Hey, good luck.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks.
A free call, 0500 1053 89. Lou calls from Southend. Lou, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tommy Boyds.
Good afternoon.
I hope you can bear with me this time anyway, because I've got all set up for writing a book.
Right.
I've got my computer, which I've bought, and I don't know anything about it, and I've gone to college to take the course of program computing.
Yeah.
I've got everything set up, from the past.
Yeah.
And in 3 months' time, I shall be 80. And naturally, I'm the youngest one in the college. 80.
Yes. Is this all in the book, this sort of thing?
Well, it's nothing to do with the book. The book is it's like a biography. If you want diarists, I've got all the book is contained with the talents and the discoveries and the music publishing and everything that I've done.
Right. Have you got any revelations?
Oh, yes.
About who?
First of all, the only... when I say, you imagine that you're Galileo. Everybody thinks the world is flat, and you come along with a theory that...
I thought you said you were 80.
Pardon?
I thought you said you were 80.
I'm 80. 80. 80 in 3
And you've
months'
got
time.
Galileo in your book?
No, I've got a description. Imagine that you've discovered something. You said, have you got revelations? Imagine you've discovered something. Everybody thinks the world's flat.
Yeah.
Get me like he did.
I don't think I don't mean these kind of revelations, Lou. What sells biographies? Glenn Hoddle, Tony Adams. It's revelations about famous people. Have you got any of those?
Well, it's only I myself. It's the familiarity and the famousness is that concerning my own discoveries, which have been in the papers, on the television. I've been on all the media, and I'm putting it in this book. And I've got a little thing that I wrote up, which will start the book up, you see, on a page, which it says, nature tidies up by evolutional changes in the species.
Yeah.
Those that adapt and adopt and happy with their lot generally stay healthy.
It's not singing at me, Lou.
Pardon?
It's not singing to me.
Who's singing?
It's not.
It's not...
singing at me.
It's not hitting you, in other words.
No. No, it's not yet. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. You want something to trigger you.
I want some scandal. If it's a biography, it's got to have some scandal.
Well, wait. In the next sentence, it's got all the scandal.
Oh, who have you got scandal about?
Well, when I come along to it in 2 sentences after, you'll hear about the scandal.
No, don't read it. Just tell me who the scandal concerns.
Well, the scandal concerns the thoughts which humanity have got at the present time, which the disillusionment, after they've read my book, they'll be disillusioned, you see. Not with my book, but with their thoughts.
I don't have to let you down here, Lou.
Why?
But I think it's going to need a bit of work, bit of tarting up, bit of polishing. You're going to have to slip 1 or 2 things in there just to kind of grab, as attention grabbers.
Well, I have got a very big one here.
But,
But they're too strong, you see.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Oh, if I read it out to you, then you can realise it.
I think you've got a bit of work to do here, Lou. You know how to work your computer.
I'm getting to know.
Would you be interested in a ghostwriter?
What is that, a program?
No, somebody to write your book for you.
Well, that would be an idea.
Yes.
That would be a good idea, yes.
Have you ever met any famous people?
Most of them, because I have been on television. Who
have you met?
I've even sent to Cleo Lane when she was on Barbican. I gave her I wrote a tune for her.
Who else?
Well, I've been in touch with 3 princesses.
Which ones?
Lady Di, Prince, what's his name? Not Caroline, another. Monaco.
Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly.
I was with her, and I was on television with Russell Harty.
Now, Grace Kelly, she was a laugh, wasn't she?
Yes, but unfortunately, she's not here anymore.
No, that's true enough.
See?
Yes, But, I mean, she was a laugh when she was alive, wasn't she?
Well, she was alive. She was a live bird altogether.
Yes.
See?
I think, Lou, quite a bit of work wants doing here. You've got to give the people what they want, Lou.
Well, this is what they want.
No, it's not. They want scandal and revelations in biography.
Well, the whole book is concerning scandals.
Good.
The whole book. It's, well, the last part, which I was saying, it contains my personal abilities, which as people refer to me as a prophet beyond the imagination.
Do they really? Do they really? I can't wait to see that in print. I'm going to nip down to Dillons and reserve my copy now. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Thanks, Lou. Linda calls from Cornwall. You're on Talk Radio, Linda.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
I've just got a short ghost poem that I wrote about a month ago, and it's only going to be a few minutes. So shall I start?
Why not?
Right. The dark pool holds the night, and stars that give it light to imagine in their mirror stillness the creatures that move beneath the darkness.
This is beautiful. Can you just hang on? Yes. Yeah?
I feel that I am not alone, but closeted in nature's lap. A few more steps to look and see the large abyss that lies before me.
Before me, rhyming with C. Very good.
A slippery twig, I twist to fall, but then the help I need, a guiding hand to help me stand. That which touched my heart I know, but not what held my hand.
This is ABAB, isn't it? Brilliant. Are they iambus?
Sorry?
Are you writing in iambus?
No.
What?
I don't know what you mean.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
I thought I caught a whiff of iambic pentameter there.
Not that I'm aware of.
No. Where do we get to? What's it called?
The abyss.
The...
Abyss.
Oh, it's got a Y in it. Can't fail.
Okay.
Go on.
That's it.
That it?
Yes.
What, no one dies?
No, it's the last sentence.
Yeah, I know, but no one dies in it.
No.
I think it needs sound effects. Read the opening title, the opening verse again.
The dark pool holds the night. Sorry. I know. They're not very good sound effects.
What was it supposed to be?
Oh, I was imagining that was the wind blowing through the trees.
Well, how can it be a not good sound effect then if you knew exactly what it was? Carry on, go on.
And stars that give it light. What about that then? The sound effect.
But for what?
And stars that give it light.
Now, we'll let the words paint a picture there.
All right.
Linda, I think it's very, very good indeed. Is it your only poem?
Well, I've been writing a little bit in and out, you know, but that's the first sort of one that I actually...
I think it's very powerful.
Do you?
I do. I think it's got a great darkness about it and a weight.
Do you like the last sentence?
Oh, do it again for me.
The very last sentence. That which touched my heart I know, but not what held my hand.
Yes, gorgeous. And you know... It shouts, doesn't it? It shouts, that last sentence shouts a million thoughts at you. I like it very much indeed.
Oh, good. I'm glad with that.
Now, what next?
What next? What?
What are you going to do next?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got to go off to a publisher, hasn't it?
I suppose so. I don't have the faintest idea of how you would go about that, though.
No. Well, down to the bookshop. Find out the publisher of the kind of book that you can see this poem in. Ring up Directory Inquiries. Get their telephone number. Phone them up, ask their address. Send it off to them.
Right.
You've got to do it.
Okay.
You've got to do it.
I will. Do you write poetry?
Well, a little, but I don't.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Do you write stories?
Oh, well, yeah, I do. Most of my stuff is factual, since I'm a journalist by trade. I'm a hack by trade. So most of my stuff is original research, historical analysis, and so forth. It's factual. I tend to deal in facts.
Not imagination.
Haven't got much of imagination, no.
You need that.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, each to his own.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I envy you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you, Linda.
Bye.
Free call 0500 10 53 89.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
Mary calls from Preston. Mary, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy. Well, this is a true story. I was married to a Czech surgeon who escaped from Prague. He got the very last train that left Prague after the Nazi, the Germans had conquered Prague.
Invaded.
Yes, invaded.
Yes.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Invaded Czechoslovakia.
That's right.
Yes.
And that was in April 1939. The Gestapo came for him the very next morning.
But he wasn't there.
And he'd gone.
He'd gone.
Yes.
How does he know that?
Pardon?
How does he know that?
Well, he heard after the war from friends.
I'm only asking the hard questions that your publisher will ask.
Quite all right.
Because, I mean, that's obviously good from a literary point of view.
Yes.
Them hammering on the door, and there's, his buttered toast still on the kitchen table, but he is free,
Yes.
That's good.
Well,
but
it was quite an exciting way that he did escape.
Yes.
I don't know if you want me to go into detail.
Well, I'm only worried about the subject matter here.
Yes.
Because although it's true,
yes,
in many ways, it's an area that Schindler's List rather sort of cornered for itself, didn't it?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I saw that several times.
Painful,
yes.
wasn't it?
Very painful.
Very good film, very good book. Schindler's Ark, it was
Excellent.
called.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm not going to bore you with the details, but I played my part in bringing Schindler's Ark to Steven Spielberg's attention, and
Really?
therefore, yes,
Oh.
Schindler's List. I've never asked him why he changed it from Schindler's Ark,
Yes.
which was the novel,
Yes.
the book,
Yes.
to Schindler's List. But anyway,
Yes.
so is your story down on paper, Mary?
No, it isn't.
Why not?
It's an embryo.
Why
in
not?
my mind. Many people have asked me this.
How old are you?
I'm 75.
You've got to get on with it then, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying
No,
75,
I know,
blimey.
I know,
But none of
I
us getting any younger.
No, I'm not.
And if we don't write these stories down and get them off to
That's right,
publishers, it
it's
takes
gone.
time.
It's gone.
It's gone.
then.
It takes time.
True.
What are you going to call it?
Last Train from Prague.
Last Train from Prague.
That's the only thing that comes, title that comes to mind.
It doesn't sing at me. I always think a title that tells you exactly what's in the book and what the book's about, it doesn't lure you in, does it? We need a bit of mystery.
Yes. What would you suggest?
Well, something enigmatic that barely means anything at all.
Yeah.
Something like, say, for example, Nightmare's Ticket. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mysterious Cap. I don't know. What did he do?
What did he do?
Yeah.
He was a surgeon.
Surgeon.
He'd been in the Czech, he'd been an army surgeon too, but he was a very successful private surgeon in Prague. And I have newspaper cuttings from all over the continent, from patients, grateful patients,
A Stitch in Time.
A Stitch in Time.
I don't know. Not really. No.
But really, it's a wonderful story, and we had a wonderful romance, very happy marriage.
You should write it down. You
Yes.
should write it down and get it to a publisher.
Yes.
Johnny Pronto.
Right.
Good luck with that.
All right, Joe. I'll let you know.
Free call 0500 1053 89. Fresh from lunch with my literary agent. I'm here to pass on an exciting bit of information, which is that contrary to what everybody thinks, the publishing houses of Britain and our literary agents, and there are hundreds of them, are crying out for new authors, new novelists, new poets, above all, new diarists. But give me a call first, and I'll just give you one or two pointers with your idea, which you've got, don't deny it. You've probably even started it a couple of times. Free call 0500 10...
I'm here. The populist identification with the underdog against the powerful and the fraudulent.
Talk Radio. Nudge, nudge.
Who's the target?
Did you know that we publish 6 times as many books in this country as they do in America? That's not per head of the population. There are 250 million Yanks, and there are 50 million Brits, and we publish 6 times as many books as they do. And we buy books and we read books. But what I've got for you today is that you need to be writing your book, your novel, your collection of poetry, best of all, perhaps, your diary. Because the publishing houses want new work and they want new authors. But hey, give me a call first and I'll pass on one or two tricks of the trade. Free call 0500 1053 89. And then when you're famous, I'll interview you on the radio when you're an author. Because I love nothing more on the radio than listening to people talking about the book they've just written. Fantastic. Steve calls from Essex. Steve, you're on Talk Radio. Hi.
Hi, Tommy. Yeah, I've been writing some poetry lately. I used to really enjoy doing it at school, but I've just started again. It's sort of about emotions that I've had going through a split in my marriage and things like that, and life in general, and how I feel. Getting it down in poetry form.
What's your favourite poem of this little compendium?
Shall I read it out then?
I wish you would.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All I ever wanted was to see just how wonderful we could really be.
Really be? Yeah.
In clouds of grey, our love grows moist.
Moist? Hold on, don't tell us.
Misting up through islands.
No, don't tell us, because sometimes when you're reading a poem, it's really nice to try and work out what's going to rhyme.
All right. Well,
so we're going to rhyme with moist. Don't tell me. It's either rejoiced or hoist.
No.
Don't tell me. Can't think of a word that rhymes with moist. Voiced.
No.
No.
No. No.
Go on then.
Misting up through islands, not of our choice.
Choice, you see, that's nice.
Immovable barriers of earth and green.
Green.
Is this really what we have seen?
Yep.
In our dreams so long ago. People come and people go.
Yeah,
but dreams are set in stone.
Stone. That's it.
That's it, but not all of them rhyme.
Don't they rhyme?
Not all of them, no. Some of them do.
Read me one that doesn't rhyme.
Read you one that doesn't rhyme.
Because it's not easy. Don't laugh, it's not easy writing poems that don't, where it doesn't rhyme.
Okay then. This kind of rhymes, but it doesn't as well. Alone in the world I thought I stood, so alone and cold and bleak. Old arms of love not welcoming, but thorny and prickly and weak. And in the distance there I was all the time, just sitting, waiting by a small stream, waiting for the day to see me again. So come, good friend, I know so well, take my hand and don't be afraid. The sun shines again upon us both. We now have love, each other, and the world.
I think it's good.
Is it?
I think, yeah. I think that's ready for a publisher.
Do you reckon?
I do, yeah.
Oh, all right.
It's quite serious, isn't it? You don't want
to lighten it up.
Put a bit of a laugh in there somewhere.
All right, I've got another one here.
Have you? Go on. Is it funny?
It's not funny, no.
What's it about?
It's about the Irish.
And it's not funny?
It was about the the Omar thing.
Well, that's not going to be funny, is it?
It's not really, but...
What are you saying? This is one of your lighter ones?
This is one of the lighter ones.
You've written a lighter poem about the Omar tragedy than about your splitting up with your other half?
Well, it's not lighter, it's more kind of bit more cynical, in a way.
Cynical?
Cynical.
You've written a cynical poem about the Omar?
About the Omar thing, as regards to the Irish people there.
Anything else? I'm not...
Bit too red hot.
Well, you know.
Not really.
No.
But yeah, I can do light stuff.
Well, give it a thought.
Yeah?
Give it a thought, because people do like to be lifted by poetry as well as moved.
They do.
You know. But I think it shows great deal of promise, Steve, and I think you've certainly got away with the English language there in Essex.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Very, very grateful for your call.
Thanks a lot.
Wow. The free call 0500 1053 89. We're looking for authors. The publishing world is desperate for new novelists, poets, but in particular, diarists. If you've been keeping a diary, I'd love you to send me a copy, a photocopy, or perhaps you can write it out longhand, of the last week, from Monday through until this week. Get it off in the post to me pronto. If it's good, we'll read it out on air. And if it's good, we'll refer it ourselves to a publishing house. At no charge to you. And no cut to us. Just as all part of the service. The address to write to is our regular address, Talk Radio, P.O. Box 1089, London W1A 1PP. And if you haven't got a pen to hand... Why? No, if you haven't got a pen to hand, I'll repeat it again in just a second. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. They're looking for new authors. This could be your chance. Run your idea past me first. Free call 0500 1053 89. I'm here to help. Jennifer's on the line from Liverpool. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, I've written a 19th century political thriller called Estelle.
A political thriller?
Yep.
Set in the 19th century?
Yep.
What's the title again?
Estelle.
Estelle?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What happens?
It's based in France in 1848. Let me see. Well, it begins in 1776. There are two families, the Baptistes and the Dupiers. I've got it written here, but she said she didn't have much time, so I'm going to have to fly through my synopsis. A continuing feud dating back to 1776 between two French families, the Baptistes and the Dupiers, is about to rear its ugly head again. Still bruised and unforgiving from being twice robbed of their aristocracy by the revolutionary Dupiers, the fallen Baptistes are determined to exact their revenge. So the Baptistes are landowners. The Dupiers are peasant labourers working on their land. Let me see. André Dupier, the peasant, leads the local peasant mob in the ransacking of the Baptiste chateau. And the events that follow, including the storming of the Bastille and the execution of King Louis, the Baptistes, along with the rest of the aristocracy, quickly fall from grace. I've got here lots of status, especially when engineered by Dupier, is something a Baptiste finds difficult to stomach. So the opportunity... The opportunity for revenge arises in 1814 when Napoleon loses all and the ruling cards is retained under the autocratic supervision of Prince Metternich of Austria. So back in favour, Michel Baptiste is the aristocrat, maliciously uses his influence to propose the execution of André Dupier, deeming him to be a conspiracy risk. His proposal was of course put into action and he was executed on August the 14th, 1815. Basically, his son, Francois, André's son, just met in Paris and married a British model called Caroline Waters, who'd recently given birth to the baby daughter Estelle. Angry that his father had been executed and aware that his own life was likely to be in danger, he disappears overnight and was thereafter presumed dead. His younger sister, Angelique, 12 at the time, was later to be his only form of communication between his wife and daughter. Soon after Francois' disappearance, Caroline receives a message from England that her own grandmother was ill, so, taking the infant Estelle with her, she returns to Somerset. In due course, the grandmother recovers, however, Caroline remains in England to be with her in old age. The years pass, and it's when Estelle reaches the age of 10...
Pint of milk, potatoes, bread, aspirins.
Michelle suddenly arrives in Somerset. Caroline, of course, knew nothing of the Baptiste...
Racing Post.
And the Dupiers had lied to her about the real reason for André's execution. In fact, Laurent and Caroline had been lovers briefly while Caroline was a model, and it could be said she'd slighted Laurent when she rejected him to marry Francois. Each man knows the other exists, but does not know him by face nor forename. Taking advantage of the fact that Caroline knows nothing of the grudge, Laurent informs Caroline as an old friend that Francois had been found, that she is to return to France immediately with him. Secretly pleased to see him and probably still living in love with him, I dare say, she goes with him happily.
6-pack for the footy.
Laurent, however, is lying. He is looking for Francois. Irritated by Caroline's lack of knowledge of Francois' whereabouts and possibly a little jealous of their incessant loving chat about Francois, he kills her in a rage. The question is, does she provoke him? Making it look like an accident, the old trick, he escapes scot-free back to France, leaving the grandmother and Estelle to discover and bury Caroline. Unable to be looked after by the aged grandmother alone, Estelle is sent to a convent school in Llangollen, North Wales. So this is the beginning of the novel, in effect, and the beginning of her story. So it's in diary form.
That's only the beginning?
Yes, the rest of it's in diary form, Estelle's diaries.
Yeah.
And she's left to save her father then from, there's a conspiracy that goes on and Francois is involved in it and he tried to,
keep at it.
A revenge thing.
Keep at it. Keep at it. How can it fail?
So she's left to do it. She's left to be the heroine.
Hey, listen, it really grabs.
I know it's quite long-winded.
No, get it off to a publisher.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, yeah, and coffee. Free call 0500, lots of coffee. Black. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.